Hi, so Simone Yetch made an awesome everyday calendar, and I made a analog magnetic version inspired by the design. And I got some clips during the build process, so I'm just gonna toss them together in case anybody is curious how this is put together, if they want to make something in this vein for themselves. It ended up being a really time-consuming project because it turns out 365 is a big number. It's like a third of the way to 1,000. And because this thing isn't physically very large, I thought it wouldn't take that long to build. But like, if you do the math, like every 10 seconds you spend on each hole on average, like each 10 seconds is an hour of project time. So anyways, I'll just roll some clips. It'll be a little disjointed, but maybe it'll be useful if somebody's wondering about this approach to an everyday calendar. All right, enjoy. So I've been kind of trying some different stuff, and I think I have a plan. It's not what I would call a good plan, but it's a plan. So I've got a 1x12 board here. This is just a prototype. Basically, I've got these 2 centimeters apart, kind of the grid. And then on the edge, it's about, I don't know, 34 millimeters from the edge. So basically, I'm drawing this grid. And then I think I'm just going to take my Dremel and try to run a pilot hole straight down. And then I've got some, what are they called? Forstner bits with like kind of flattish bottoms. And I'm just like driving those down with my drill. And then I'm going to run screws through so that I can like dial in the depth here. Okay, well the holes are going fine actually. I don't want to get like philosophical, but I'm realizing 365 days, it's kind of a lot. Trying to decide if it's too late in the day for a cup of coffee. I'm about a third of the way done, and it's about time to break for dinner. And it's going slower than I might have hoped. I mean, realistically, this is exactly what I should have expected. It might be something where I decide that I'm at risk of getting sloppy and I should just finish it up tomorrow. But I don't feel too bad about it because this thing might look really good. All right. The holes are done. I overshot one on February. But other than that, it went pretty well. There are some spots where it kind of blew out a little bit between them. And then there's stuff like this, where I'm a little worried if I just go in and start sanding, it's gonna rip that and make it worse. So I guess I'm gonna get a razor blade and clean up all these holes. It seemed to get worse as it went along, so that bit is probably getting dull, I guess. Yeah, so I'm gonna clean those up, and then maybe I'll do this cut after that, and then sand, and I think I'm gonna start with like a medium grit and like not start too coarse. All right, so drilled and sanded. I'm not gonna stress too much. I got some of them with the razor blade, and then it turns out the Dremel sanding wheels fit down there pretty well. So I cleaned it up. I mean, there's still some, but I want to wrap this up today. So I'm gonna move on to screws. Before I forget, this Forstner bit is a 5/8, and then I did the pilot holes with an 1/8 inch drill bit. This is Chester. Chester's so sleepy. Why are you so sleepy, Chester? This is Louise. Louise is hungry. Okay. So, I went shopping for screws, and I did not find anything that would work particularly well for this. And also, I was like shopping around, and it's like if a little, machine bolt or whatever that's the perfect size, if they're like 20 cents each, and I need 365 of them, ends up being like, I don't know, 60, 80 bucks. Like it, like it really adds up. So once again, I'm confronted with the substantial number of days in a year. Anyways, all right, so my plan for screws is I just get a whole row started by hand, and then I've got my drill set to really low resistance. Just drive them down till it spins out. And then on the other side, if I come in with my bolt cutters and just pop, I can just pop them off real close to the bottom, and then when I back them out to my desired depth, they aren't poking through anymore. Some of them are just kind of barely. All right, how cool is this thing? So I've got all my screws in, and I have, I think, about 350 magnets there. I've got more, but I'll have to like pull stickers off of them and stuff. So now I'm just gonna kind of decide on the depth I want, and then adjust all the screws. Here's the magnet plan. So these are my magnets, and I'm putting the 1/2-inch craft dot stickers on both sides actually, and then on the one side I'm going to put a gold star over the craft sticker. All right, the magnetic everyday calendar is done. What do you think, Thelma? Thelma's a very athletic, ambitious rabbit, and she gets up on the island. I have 2 other floor rabbits. But yeah, I think the gold stars are maybe a little bit like understated. Like they're not super, super obvious. It's really clear which ones are flipped and which aren't in person. But if I turn off the lights, Thelma, are you down safe? Okay. So in lower light, it kind of like depends on, up here, in low light, it's not always obvious which ones are flipped, but I think this is pretty good for like kind of a analog natural tone sort of solution. I'll have a year to decide what I want to do with my next one. But I like these. Right at the end, as I was starting to get the magnets together, I found out that you can't just put them all the same pole out, because magnets have this mysterious property that nobody could have expected, where they it's almost like they have this invisible field of magnetism around them where they can interact with each other and are attracted to each other and repelled. So, yeah, in case you weren't aware of that, I was somehow surprised when I got to the end. I was like, oh, the magnets want to combine together into a big glob and fall off. But anyways, yeah, I'm happy with it. The magnets aren't like the easiest thing to grab. This is with my left hand. It's a little bit easier. So like the magnets, especially if they're all the same pulls out, they'll do with stuff like that. But right now, with them alternating, they're behaving. So yeah, it works well. It's fully functional, and I think it looks pretty good. So yeah, I'm happy with it. So now the hard part's just sticking with it. But I think since I had to put in like 16 to 20 hours of work to get this damn thing built, it'll be a good incentive to stay consistent. So yeah, that's what I did, in case anybody wants to make another one, or more likely I'll be the one to watch this video in a year if I decide to make something different and I want to remember what was involved with this one. All right, Happy New Year's all. Bye.